Greetings. Welcome to another episode of VAYGRIM'S Chance on this fine Wednesday. We're not going to go into building the tower or building the walls, though I do have some stuff to show you on that end. I double-thicked these walls right here. These are still single. But I'm thinking about actually just bumping it out to under this ledge. I mean, that would make a lot more sense, I think. These are now double-thick all the way around. Pretty much. I haven't even touched this courtyard yet. I'm going to finish this one first. So, the towers themselves, right? Let's go into this one. We're going to talk about the tech in the towers now. Dun-dun-dun. We've got this bad boy right here. Dimensional transceiver that is receiving power and sending it out to these two machines. Now, I've discovered that this is slightly too many blocks for a Tier 1 shield projector. So, this is a Tier 1 for the front wall. That works fine. This has to be bumped up to a Tier 2. Yes. Also, nifty little trick. I can set this to hostile, damage, then default solid. So any hostile mobs that bump into the wall or stand on the wall will get killed. I think that's cool. I also figured out that these things count as lit blocks, or maybe they just won't spawn stuff on them. So even though this is mimicked after a solid block and it's not lit up, nothing spawns on these things, which I think is interesting. I'm also getting this really weird ghosting because of the actual blocks, the guide blocks. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so I've got one master switch for both walls right now. Works real nicely. Boop. Turn them back on. I will eventually have that on some kind of a remote system. Now, I had a thought. Why isn't there a redstone tab on this? They'll move items, power, liquids. That is liquids, right? That's liquids. What's that? Send filter. Receive filter. So that's filtration. But this is items, right? This is liquids. It'll send carts. It'll send power. Why isn't there redstone? This one thing could act as a wireless redstone hub. That would make things a lot simpler. It'd be a really cool solution. Something to think about. So I don't want to talk about these things, the tower per se. I want to talk about, whoops. Let's pull this out. Pull that out. I'm actually going to pull these things up. We're going to take them over to the tech lab. Why am I taking them over to the tech lab? Well, I've been a busy little monkey. First of all, I made this thing called a machine infuser. And it runs off of dimensional shards. Dimensional shards, as you'll notice, I have a crap ton of them because I went targeted hunting. I had to find one, then I set and I used my silk touch pick right there. Then I set one silk touched block as the target and silk touch the rest of them. Now, why am I silk touching all the rest of these? Well, specifically because if you silk touch them, but actually, I don't need that right now. If you silk touch them, you will get a, you can use fortune on them later. So, about a stack is 25% on the infusion machine. So what you got to do is get at least 4 stacks in there. This machine uses dimensional shards, and you put RF tools machines into it to infuse them. You notice right across the bottom it says infusing bonus, reduced power consumption, and increased damage. Ooh. So we can get this Tier 1 shield projector, and it will eat up about 4 stacks to go from 0 to 100%. It takes a stack of shards to go up to 25%. So 4 stacks per 100. And basically, I've been infusing a whole bunch of my machines. Well, I did this. Now, how did I get all this ore? Well, you'll remember we previously had a dimension number 5. I'm sorry, number 4. It's right there. I made it number 5, and number 5 didn't work out, so I made it number 6, and 6 worked out. All it has is a digit 1 and a digit 1 in it. It's empty otherwise. So, if we go, dimension 6, we step in here. I'm going to warp over and show you what it is. It's an amplified terrain, mixed biome kind of a world. It's real crazy. And I just hopped around. Initially, I did it in these tunnels. I went mining. This is where I found the original dimensional shard block. I then used the tunnels as kind of shelter to set down my digital miner, set down the dimensional transceiver to power it, and then I just turn it on because it was pre-programmed already. Eventually, it got to where, though, I would actually fly up on top of the terrain and set it up there. And I raised the Y level and got more. Now, you'll notice Y level right in the top right. It says X5, Y level 170. So we are quite high up. This is definitely an amplified terrain biome. So I think I might come back here for some mining or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Very cool stuff. So I have a whole bunch of this. That I am actually going to be using to infuse all the shield generators, shield projectors with. This thing is now at 100%. Get this one, put it in there. Takes the same amount of shards, doesn't matter what the machine is. Every machine will take 4 stacks to get from 0 to 100% infused. Different machines get different bonuses. Now, anything that requires power, the universal benefit is that it requires less power to work. That's a uniform. I have infused a lot of the machines in here already. This machine, it says 0% infused. It's a Wayla bug, or it's a RF Tools bug with Wayla. It actually is. I'll do. Let's see. You see that blink of 100 per second? You see this one blinks that never changes from 0. 100, 100, 100. You have to catch it real quick. 100, 100. So yeah, this machine doesn't actually use power. That's 100%. That's 100%. That's 100%. I had to make 2 infusers and infuse one machine with the other one. So then I swapped them and put the uninfused machine in storage. Let's see. So we get all of those. 100%. That is awesome. I'm going to get this Dimlet Scrambler and put it in there. And then we need to actually make more shards. Now, I think, I don't really know of a better way to do this that'll still yield fortune. So, if I smelt them, I only get 4 per. This way, I get up to 12 per, sometimes 16. It's still variable. I'll get 4, and then 8, and then 4, and then all of a sudden I'll get 16, then 9. Weird, but still, that's the way fortune works. Yeah, this stuff's really, really good, especially if you're using a lot of RF Tools machines. There's going to be a whole bunch more RF Tools. You see, I put 4 stacks in right there. There's going to be a whole bunch of RF Tools update whenever I actually finally get a working version of 108 of my mod pack. It's going to have an updated version of RF Tools in it, which means it's going to have a lot of new toys. And I want to be able to infuse those toys and reduce their power usage. The auto crafting table that RF Tools has uses power per function. And if you infuse it, it uses less power and works faster, which is very cool. So let's get all of this. And just start making it into shards. We need as much shards as possible. That's not even right. That's not even correct. Right click. We got 6 stacks right there. Okay. But I want to stockpile these things. Eventually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a B-space barrel, and I'll have a companion barrel over in the main storage building. And what I'll do is just make it to where it is a part of, it looks for this stuff as a part of the normal process for mining. Then I can just do normal mining, and all of these things will just get routed to a B-space barrel full of ore. Now, I'd still need to find something that can maybe auto-break this stuff, and it counts as fortune. But I don't have an autonomous activator because I don't have thermal expansion in my pack. Maybe I could give this pick to a drone and program a drone to do it from open computers? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm going to have to think of some way that I can actually use, get a fortune yield off of crushing something or breaking it. Because I don't want to just run through the smelter. That's going to waste a lot of potential. 12, yeah. We're getting a really nice headway here. And, yeah. I want to get a nice stockpile of this stuff, specifically so I can have a build-up to actually infuse all of the projectors. That's going to be one projector per wall segment. A lot of them are probably going to be tier 2s. And tier 2s require more power. So, it's going to have to be a thing. Okay. I'm quite sure this is riveting, but let's put this stuff away. I'm going to put that there, put that there. That 100%. All of those are 100% infused now. So we'll come over here. We're going to get, keeps all the settings. Now I think there we go. And it's probably barely using power. Now, one thing I need to talk to McJitty about, I need to have him put a number below this when it says 1999 or whatever out of 200,000. I need to know how much it's using per tick because it's a complete mystery right now. It really would be nice to have that on the machines themselves, but we don't have that yet. So, we can infuse machines from, I don't think this works on anything else. No recipes. Can I infuse a furnace? I'm curious. Let's just get a ordinary ass furnace. What happens if I... Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, well, you know, whatever. It's worth a check. I can now infuse machines very, very nicely. Improve my power efficiency. This has actually been infused. And it cuts down on power maintenance cost to run a dimension. This is all the way down to 10 RF per tick, which is very cool. This is normally 20 RF per tick. I'm curious what happens. I think it stays. Oh, specified. Maintenance cost 20 RF per tick, specified 10 RF per tick. So I think we might have actually cut that power usage in half. Yeah, I'm going to keep our mining dimension in there real quick, temporarily. I do want to keep this specifically because this is the dimension I used to actually set up a little battle arena to summon elementals for blood magic. And that was actually kind of handy. So, yeah. So, I did a whole ton of mining of this dimensional ore off camera. Thought I would explain to you guys exactly what you do with this stuff. Now, you can actually make, there's another kind of block you can make with this stuff. U for usage. Wonderful thing. You have to find something to make the machine infuser itself, of course. There's this thing called an activity probe, But I think the activity probe, if you put an activity probe in a dimension, the activity probe keeps that dimension loaded so it doesn't lose power. Right now, I think that McJitty has it to where dimensions don't need to stay powered up if they're not getting used. So I think steadily the power going into them drops unless you put an activity probe in them. Or something like that. Give me one of those. Let's look at that again. So I'm not 100% sure what the activity probe usage is. I think that is actually a new block. A dimlet template. This will get used in the dimlet workbench when we update to later versions of RF tools. We'll be able to make our own dimlets for specific like biomes or whatever. Dimensional blank block. This is literally a building block. Yeah, same. You put 4, you get a cool small blocks grid, dimensional cross blocks, dimensional pattern block, cross block 2, pattern block 2. So these are just decorative building blocks. Yeah, plank block 2, dimensional. Yeah. So those are very cool. I like those. We are going to do one last batch. I'm kind of prepping for the update to 108, but I keep having problems one way or another. I have a very good group of testers on my test server, and they keep finding some really weird bugs that I just can't let the pack go out with. So things are still in limbo on that, but I do not want you guys to think that I've stopped updating the pack. I am working on it. That is still a thing. So I'm going to keep hacking away at this, at these shards. Getting machines infused. I don't think does this use power? No, it's a passive block, an updater. I mean a destinational analyzer. This does use power. It's been infused, as you can see, 100% and 100%. So teleportation uses way less power. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. I cannot wait to actually make my own legit dimension. Maybe like a void dimension with a really cool effects to it or something like regen and nourishment. I don't know. And then put it in here. Those things are usually pretty expensive. Like, even if it is a void dimension, you start putting effects on it, make it eternal day, and they get real expensive real quick. So I can actually do that. I think that'll be very, very cool. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. Make sure to not let things get you down. Stay positive. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.